Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition of Puckin' Deep. Yeah, baby, welcome to the show, the great Pearlo Wisdom. How you doing, Pearlo?
Doing excellent, my friend. Got another great show ahead of us. Some really cool topics coming up for today.
You
So
think maybe?
pretty
You think?
excited
I
about it.
mean, just the heated conversation we had before we got on camera. I mean, come
Yeah, we
on.
should have probably recorded
We
that.
probably should be. Yeah, I know we probably should have.
That's
But
okay. It's gonna be
but
good.
that's
The
okay
sparring
though.
round before the round. Yeah.
Just
There you go.
getting the juices flowing before
Just
the show.
right. See, you got to do that. You got to get that build up because of course, we have to welcome in our very special, esteemed guest, Mr. Lyle Richardson. How you doing, Lyle? Thank you very much for
I'm
being with
good,
us.
guys. I too enjoyed the spirited contest before. And listen, you got to have a good warm up before you get into it. Need a good
Right?
warm up. Loosen
Call
things up.
that the green room, whatever you want to call that. I don't care, right? But welcome to another special edition of Puck and Deep, where we talk about all things NHL. We talk about all things that are concerned about the NHL, and we talk about things because we know puck. And we're going to talk about the thing that everybody else is talking about, and that's right, folks. The big, huge, giant Hughes trade. Holy
Yeah,
moly!
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna start with you, Lyle, because you cover a lot of things, especially with your rumor mill on Spectre's hockey and everything else like that. So, w- did you even see this coming, or was this kind of like from way downtown, or you know what I mean? Like,
Well, yeah, well, I think pretty much everybody knew, by the entering this month or getting a couple of weeks into this month that it seemed that a Quinn Hughes trade was a foregone conclusion. I think people are surprised it happened as early as it did. Though, of course, Jim Rutherford, the president of hockey ops for the Canucks, well known for pulling the trigger on big deals way before the trade deadline, has a history of that. But even so, everything I was reading and hearing, and even from my own, putting everything together, is as if this was going to happen, we figure, yeah, okay, this might happen either before the Olympic break, and if it doesn't happen for the Olympic break, maybe soon afterwards. But if it didn't
wow,
happen then, it was definitely going to happen in the off season because it was just all the talk. It was just felt like a foregone conclusion. When he did get traded, I wasn't so much surprised that he got traded when he did. It was where he went to. The Minnesota Wild were hardly on anybody's bingo card here. You know,
okay, right.
yeah, I mean it was New Jersey, it was Detroit, it was your Flyers were in on it,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
the Rangers,
yeah.
Sabres, Hurricanes, Capitals, all these
Everybody.
different teams, but Minnesota, very few people were picking Minnesota to do this. And for Billy Guerin to pull the trade, yeah, he has signaled that, yeah, this team is going for it now. They finally got out of their self-imposed salary cap hell. They re-signed Kaprizov to a monster contract, and if they wanted to good, to give Kaprizov an example that we're serious about building a winner here, holy cow, you can't get better than that. And for the Canucks, as far as the return, they weren't going. You listen, when you trade a superstar in his prime, you never get full value back. Full value is superstar for superstar. Those trades almost never happen. But you would be hard pressed to find anybody who believes that the Canucks could have got a better return than what they wanted. They wanted a young top six center. They got it in Marco Rossi. Excuse me. They wanted to get a young puck moving defenseman. They got it in Zbuim. They wanted another
Boy, did they get him in
promising
that
young
one.
NHL player, and they got it with Liam Ogren, and they get a first round pick, which granted will be lower in the round, because this trade is going to. I mean, the Wild were already moving on up in the standings
True,
after they get
true,
over their
true, true.
sluggish little start there, but. Now, yeah, that pick is probably going to be in the bottom 10, but you can keep it for yourself or you can flip it, to address another
Yeah,
roster need if you want.
yeah, yeah.
So, all things considered, Vancouver did okay. It's not a horrible trade. But this is also a sign they are rebuilding. Now, does that mean they're going to be able to trade Elias Pettersson? No, because I think a lot of teams would be scared off of that contract. He has not played up to the level expected of a player earning 11.6 mil a season on an 7 or 8 year deal. Are they going to trade Brock Besser? I don't think so. Besser wanted to stay. He could have gone to market. He could have took off last summer. He did. He wanted to stay. But I don't think again that this is, as I said, a tear it down to the studs thing. They've got some key pieces there that are in the mid to late 20s. Thatcher Demko's there as well. They've actually got a really good goalie tandem in
Yeah, yeah.
Demko and Lankinen. So they've got some good guys there. They've also got some promising young players in their sister too, in Wallinder and especially Lekaramaki. So yeah, this is and those young players they got. Well, all three of them were in the lineup when
Yeah,
they
yeah.
played the Devils on Sunday. All three of them, and boom, had a goal and an assist.
Huh.
So, you
Immediate
know,
dividends. Yeah.
immediate. Oh, if you don't think Canucks fans weren't happy seeing that,
Wow.
but this what was really important here for this in terms of Vancouver is Jim Rutherford managed to convince owner Tom Aquilini that you have to rebuild this roster because it's been the team owner Aquilini who's been resistant to it for a decade now. Okay, he really has.
Yeah.
And yes, it sucks that they had to trade away a superstar that basically dropped into their lap,
Yeah, right.
during the
Yeah.
draft year when they got him. But at the end of the day, it wasn't working. The dynamics within the team, it was tearing apart. That led to JT Miller getting traded because he and Pedersen weren't getting along. The Bo Horvat being traded away a couple of years ago. And
Yeah.
it just, left Quinn Hughes feeling this is not a place I want to be. So for the Wild, this is great for them. Okay, and the only downside I can say is they might only have Hughes for 2 playoff runs here because he still hasn't committed. Though he's saying he's going to be very open minded about it. If they win, if they're an actual cup contender, or if they win, that's going to be a
He's
very
gonna.
strong
Yeah.
argument for him to stay there. So
Okay.
for both sides, it's going to be interesting how it came up, but it's not horrible one way or the other.
Okay. Okay. That a great take on that, Lyle. Thank you very much, Perlo. What you have a much more different perspective on the game with the knowledge that you have and how you approach things with your knowledge and then what you do for a living as far as that's concerned. So I think you have a
Mm-hmm.
bit of a different
Mm-hmm.
perspective. And what are the ramifications of this as far as how does it vault the Minnesota Wild? And when conversely, then what does it do to Vancouver?
Well, I mean, first of all, there was plenty of rumors about Rossi and Vancouver in the summertime. There was lots to talk about. It was fairly open,
Mhm.
which kind of, I think I mentioned it on the show, kind of lends to what I originally thought. And I think, and I have no factual information on this, but just from what I've seen about the way Hughes was on the ice, he
Yeah.
looked very frustrated this year. And that he asked for this trade in the summer.
Yeah.
And I saw a guy that was getting very impatient. Like he wanted out and he wanted out now. Why I don't want to wait around any longer. So with that in mind, I guess I think Vancouver did very well, possibly. Bium to me, Bium kind of reminds me of a young Chikrin. That's what he reminds me of. So
That's a good player compare.
yeah, not bad, not a bad player. Rossi, that there was a lot of question marks about him. Apparently, there was a lot of questions about marks about him from other general managers. He was on there was a lot of players on him in the summer, and I kind of get it. Like, what is he going to be, Rossi? What is he going to be? He's got I don't. I've seen like videos of him when he does his workouts and stuff like that. That guy's got a vertical like Spud Webb back in the day. It's incredible. He's got
Right.
tree trunks for legs. Like he is one fit dude. But he seems
Right.
to get injured, and he's on the small side, and all of those things like that. He's got a lot of skill. He's played in the top six and he's played on the top line, got 50, 60 points. It's really hard to judge what his ceiling is. That's the big thing with Rossi. Is I think people had a hard time judging what his ceiling is, but he works out perfect for Vancouver in a sense that they're willing to take a shot. If his ceiling is a 60-point center, then I mean that's not too bad return when basically they had no leverage at all. That's
Okay.
what means this good return is they really had no leverage in the deal to anybody they were giving it to if he wasn't willing to sign.
That's true.
Washington was apparently they wanted Leonard from Washington. They balked at that. Philly was in the Philly was in on it too apparently, and I can't remember the player that they were wanting from Philly, but they balked at that too. It was a really good player, but they it seemed like other teams didn't want to give up their top player, and that's probably because uh, Hughes wasn't willing to sign the contract when they went there. And
Okay.
Minnesota said, you know what, we'll take the chance. I personally can't see him not ending up in New Jersey. To keep him in Minnesota, it's going to cost 17 sheets. You're going to need to
Yeah.
going to need to put up 17 sheets. And
Uh,
then New Jersey's going to have to go, whoa, wait a second. We got a rest of a roster we got to take care of. And they might go, I don't know about that. So he probably would have to take. He's going to have to take less to go to New Jersey. There's no doubt about that. It won't be about money when he goes to New Jersey because Minnesota is going to give him like
oh yeah.
whatever New
Yeah.
Jersey offers. They're going to add a million. They're going to add a million. They're going to add a
Yeah.
million. So,
Okay.
but if he's not signed by next year, next summer, Minnesota is going to be buying everything in the shop. Pretty much whatever's out there. There that team is going to stack itself like you
Yep.
wouldn't want to believe. If
Okay.
anything is out there, they're going to overpay for everything. They're going to cap out and they're going to do it for a year. And then if he does leave, you have all those other guys you got. So Hughes brought you a piece that says we're here to win a cup. They go into a big free agency next year where the cap is flying up. They go and buy a bunch of players, and if Hughes leaves, well, they got those other players. So I think this is a really good move for Minnesota. A lot of people don't, but I think it is a good move because Hughes is a guy that says we're going to win the cup. And what do free agents want? They want to go to a place for a team that wants to win the cup next year. So in the end, they're still going to have a good team, even if Hughes leaves, if everything works out like I just said. And I'm pretty sure that's what Bill Guerin is thinking.
Okay. Here's kind of what I was thinking about this thing. I mean, I think it's great for Minnesota that they were able to land a player of Hughes quality. But I do like the return that Vancouver got because Zeev Bunham is his ceiling is pretty large as far as
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned. Frothing at the mouth when he was available at the draft. Okay, because he's going to be the real deal. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
that's why I think it was a good return as far as that's concerned. So I'm not in that boat where I thought Vancouver got fleeced or anything like that. No, 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 no. I think Vancouver got a really good return for what they did and what because like you said, Lyle, you're never going to be able to get that full compensation for somebody of Hughes quality. I want to throw a monkey or a wrench here in the works by saying maybe the New Jersey might be off the table with him potentially putting his brother in a bad situation where the
That's what,
team would have to maybe choose between him or his brother. Because if, like you say, if Minnesota offers him 17 sheets, there's no way that New Jersey's going to be able to say, well, we can do that and then still pay your brother and then your other brother and then and all these other guys, right? So that potentially could keep him either in Minnesota or at potentially another team after this year. I think it shows to the league that Bill Guerin has put on his big boy pants
mm-hmm.
for a change and actually did something really good for the team and has done some good things for the team over the last couple moves that he's done here with the signings that he's done over the last little bit. So I think the Wild are trying to do that. They're trying to make that run. They've been this close. You know, the last 3 years or so, they've had the taste of the playoffs. They've gotten that blood in their mouth and they want it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and I like them going for it. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And I like that. But
If I
how's it
could
all go?
interject just for a
Yeah,
second on that,
go,
though,
go, go, go.
I think the reason why, yeah, you're seeing Garen go for it now is because this is what he's been planning since he went in
Yeah,
and bought out Parise and Suter. He
yeah.
said it at the time. He laid out the whole thing of short-term pain for long-term gain. And it
Mm-hmm.
sounds like a cliche, but in this instance, no, it wasn't. He knew exactly what he was doing, and
Yep.
this was the move that he was waiting for, was that
Yeah.
opportunity. Plus, he also wanted to make sure that he was going to have enough cap room to be able to pay Kaprizov what he wanted. And in terms of going to New Jersey, I agree with you guys that, yeah, I agree with you, Perlo. If he wants to go there, he can't take, full market value. He's going to have to leave
Right.
cash on the table. I believe he will because it's about family. He's still going to
Yeah.
be very well paid. Don't kid
Yeah.
yourself. But
Okay.
hey, he wouldn't be the first player to leave money on the table to stay in someplace, right? So it wouldn't be that unusual. And if he would do it, he'd do it for family. Second of all, people wonder what that would do regarding Luke Hughes. Well, it's very simple. Luke Hughes plays second pairing left side. Quinn plays first pairing left side. Neither one of them are going to complain.
Right.
Okay,
You know what I
because
mean?
they're all
Okay.
together and they're all going to be very happy with the
Yeah.
situation.
Right.
So, but for New Jersey though, they have to free up cap space, even if they can get Quinn Hughes to take less to come there. And that's why, reportedly, and this was from Kevin Weeks, they've been shopping Dougie Hamilton and Andre Palat to try and get their
Clear.
contracts off the books
Okay.
so they can free up the room. That's what stopped them from being able to get Quinn in the first place in this trade. They made a legitimate offer with Simon Nemec and Dawson Mercer as part of this, but
Okay.
they could not clear the
Couldn't.
money. They could not clear the cap space to do it. But Hamilton and Palat, I don't think that they're done trying to move those guys. They're going to try and move them to clear the cap room.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Well,
There's a
hey.
good point about what you said, because they're brothers. It's a financial thing. Do you pay the other Luke Hughes less money for a second pairing or whatever? They're brothers.
Yeah.
So Hughes says, "Look, I'll take the money. I'll just hand it over to your account when it's over, and you split it the way it is." Simple as that. Who cares, right? They're
Luke's very
brothers. So
comfortable.
you
Luke's
take
very
less, I
comfortable.
take
Yeah.
more, whatever, and then
Luke's
I'll
very
Right.
just
comfortable
throw it
for the
into your
next 5
account
years.
every month or whatever. Yeah. So
Yeah, Luke's very comfortable for the next 5 years at 9 mil a pop. I don't think
yeah,
he's complaining
Gee.
too much.
yeah.
Gosh, yeah,
Poor
darn. God,
guy.
twist his arm. Yeah, right. Poor millionaire, darn.
Poor guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
darn. All
But kudos to
right.
Garen, because I like the way I
Yep.
like his thinking. He'll draw players in, and those players will be good, and they'll still be good even if Quinn leaves. So
I
I love
okay.
him.
All right. I agree. I agree. And I thought this was when we talked about this in our last show, Perla, we talked a little bit about how we saw that Quinn Hughes was frustrated on the ice and how we could see that in his play and things of that nature. And then based on what you said, Lyle, saying he wanted out of there, I wasn't expecting it as soon as it was. I more was thinking it was going to be closer to the Olympic break, but based off of what we've seen on the ice and his play on the ice. I mean, he's now with his new team now, and everybody's all hunky dory. Everybody's all happy, right? Because everybody's being productive now with their new teams. So, speaking of new teams and people that have
Mm,
had some new teams, there was
mm,
another blockbuster trade that happened
mm,
between a certain Western Pennsylvania team and a
mhm,
Western Canada team.
mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
Skinner for Jari? And
Mm,
since I went to Lyle first for the last one, I'm gonna go to Pearlo since Pearlo is the big Edmonton guy, right?
no.
Uh, what's going on here, man? With this, what Skinner for Jari? Really?
Well, first,
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
I put it on out here. I'm not really an Edmonton fan anymore, and I have reasons for that, and I'll get into it some other time. But they traded a worse goaltender to Pittsburgh and gave up a first round draft pick in 2000, whatever, and whatever else the deal was. If Jari was on the open market and this deal wasn't done, Jari gets a fifth, maybe a fifth round pick.
Maybe.
Pittsburgh absolutely crushed that trade. Crushed that trade. It is just absolutely diabolically bad, especially after saying we're waiting all this time because we don't want to make a lateral move. Actually, they didn't lie, though. They didn't lie. They said they didn't want to make a lateral move, and they didn't. They made a not lateral move because they got a lesser goaltender. So that's not lateral. So they didn't lie about that. It's absolutely terrible. Terrible trade. I hope. I watched Jari when he was on the Oil Kings, and when I watched him, I said that's an NHL goaltender right there. There's no doubt about that. The guy's got, I don't know if it's in his head, if it's what it is about him. He just can't find consistency in the NHL. He has shown times when he looks really, really good.
Yep.
But for the most part, I mean, he was in the AHL last year for the long time.
Yeah.
He came back up, had what, 2 or 3 good games, and went back to being Jari again. So now you're rolling the dice because his saves above expected are high right now here in this time that he's here. You're rolling the dice that he comes to Edmonton and all of a sudden he's going to have to be he's a well above average goaltender consistently, although he hasn't showed it for his whole career. Now, Jari does have a farm in Edmonton. In the summer, he goes to Edmonton. He is an Edmonton guy. The reason why they got Jari is because Jari would go to Edmonton and he will stay there. And that is a very hard thing to get, is somebody to want to go to Edmonton. And one of the reasons, I'll tell you why. Skinner was absolutely, unfortunately, and this is not a thing on all Edmonton people. I'm from Edmonton, not at all. But there is a way too high amount of people that are rude, and they were yelling at him in public, calling him while he's out with his family, slamming this guy. And this happened to Lucic too. Back in the day, he made it very public that it was happening.
Wow.
The way they treat some of these guys if they're struggling or whatever it is. He had threats, of course, just like talk about Marner. Oh, yeah. Terrible, dude. So, and all of the people that are jerks in Edmonton that are doing this, because this is a regular thing, it's on you, dude. You're the reason why nobody wants it. This gets out. Skinner tells everybody in Pittsburgh what happened, and Lucic told everybody in Calgary what happened, and it gets out that it's not a fun place if you're not having a good time in Edmonton. And that's part of the reason why nobody wants to go there. Forget about the fact that it's -7 Fahrenheit right now there, and it's freezing cold. It's not a sexy city, and there's no real high-end restaurants you can go to. It's not a millionaire's paradise by any stretch of the imagination. And then you throw that in on top of it. So they got a guy that wanted to be there, and that's it. And Skinner did not want to be there. There's another guy who told them, I want out. Who knows? Okay. Probably in the summer as well. And they said, well, we don't want to make a lateral move. They were trying to say,
they didn't make a lateral move, did they?
They overpaid for a guy that we're not sure can ever be that. It's just Pittsburgh won this trade big time. Skinner wasn't even really the problem. Go look at our other ones. I'm not going to go into it now for the sake of time, but we did other ones, and I did a rant on what the actual problem is in Edmonton for the Edmonton Oilers. So I can't say that. I'm trying to find something good about it, but the only thing, the best that could happen here is that if Jari, who has the talent to be an above average goaltender, I do believe that. I've seen it. He can be.
Yeah.
If he somehow finds some Edmonton zen, does like a Rolison did back when they made the finals that one year, and becomes what he can be and on a consistent basis, beautiful. If you want me to roll, if you want me to put any kind of faith in that, well, you got another thing coming, because I haven't seen anything that says that. So that's what I got to say about that. Today, Pittsburgh's going to beat Edmonton,
Yeah, yeah, I think
because
so too.
Skinner is the one that is like, he's the one that wants to show. Jari's the
Yeah,
one. Jari left there because they were trying to move him for a really long time. And he wanted to stay in Pittsburgh. He didn't
yeah,
want to leave Pittsburgh. He wanted to stay there. He's been there forever. He never wanted to leave. He never said he wanted to leave. He didn't ask to leave, anything.
right.
But Skinner is going there, and they know it. They're going to play for that boy today.
All right.
When he tells them those stories of why he left and all that, Pittsburgh's
That's
winning today.
that's great. So Lyle, can you throw some shade on any of this? Or?
Well, I mean, I can't disagree with Pearlo's take on the fact that yeah, Pittsburgh won that trade big time. A couple of things I'll say in there about this. First of all, Kyle Dubas, I mean, the last couple of years, he has finally shown the type of management savvy that,
Yeah.
he was supposed to have when he was the boy wonder in Toronto.
How
Because
about
what
that?
he's done, like his first year in Pittsburgh, yeah, he was trying to, build a team that could make the playoffs again when he went and overpaid to get the, Eric Carlson and so on.
Right.
But since then, yeah, he's been doing it right. And this is a prime example. You get Stuart Skinner in this. You also get Brett Kulak as well,
Yeah.
who has a reputation as an experienced shutdown D man. Did the job. Hey, he did a great job for us in Montreal back in 2021. He was a big reason why that team went to the
Yeah.
final.
Yeah.
His
And
shutdown
that's gonna
style of play.
majorly help Pittsburgh.
And
Mhm.
well, and the fact I think Skinner getting away from that, and I wrote about this. I said maybe getting out of that harsh spotlight in Edmonton, and it is harsh, as Pearlo said. Um, Maybe going there, you'll see an improvement of his play. Maybe those consistency issues that were plaguing him in Edmonton, maybe they don't become issues anymore. Okay, who's to say? The thing is he's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season, and so is Kulak, I believe. If these guys play well and keep the Penguins in the play, in playoff contention, this is great because they're going to hang on to them for at least the rest of the season because they're not going to deny Crosby another shot at getting into the playoffs after 3-4 years. And if they don't play well, and if the Penguins fall out of playoff contention, but these guys are still playing good, you've got two good trade chips right there. You can use at the deadline. Flog them to add more draft picks and prospects to that deepening pool that you've got, right?
Yeah.
So on the Penguins side of that, yeah, there's nothing really to hate about that deal at all. Um, as far as Jerry goes, I mean, yeah, you have to wonder too. I mean, why he had that inconsistency so much in Pittsburgh, and is he going to be able to shrug that off and perform better, being basically playing back home? There is that possibility he could, and if he does, then it'll make Stan Bowman look like a genius because then you've got the guy not just for this season but two more after that.
At least.
And maybe that helps, maybe he can steal some games that Skinner wasn't able to do for them. And maybe that helps improve the D. But I gotta say, I think Pittsburgh's got the better of this deal.
This is one of those things where I think it's that change of scenery.
Hmm.
You know, even though Jari wasn't asking for it, it's probably going to do him some good because now he's going to go to a place where he's familiar. He's going to go to a place that he's got home, he's got roots, he's got you understand what I'm saying? And it's like you said, Prolo, you don't not many people want to just say, "Yeah, I want to go to Edmonton," and go there, and I've
Yeah.
never been there, so nothing against people that are
Before I
from.
go on, though, I want like people that are from Edmonton. It's a wonderful family town.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's extremely safe. It's
Hmm.
one of the safest places you can live. If you're a labor person or an average Joe, it's one of the best places to live. You make a lot of money there. There's a lot of great things. I'm not slamming Edmonton at all. I
No,
lived
no,
there
no,
for
no,
30
no.
some years. I live in Indiana now. I love it here and I love my time there. But I'm just saying, if you're a millionaire, it's not
Not the
like
place to hang out.
if I won a lottery, as much as I love my time there, I would take my memories with me. You know what I'm
You
saying?
okay? You would go there to visit every once in a while just to say hi to family, right?
Yeah,
But that's about
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Okay.
that's right. Yeah.
But I think that's playing into this because how many times have we seen that throughout all of history, not just in hockey, but in almost every sport? A guy gets a change of scenery, and suddenly, hey, the grass is greener on the other side. You know what I mean? And look, you didn't get a goalie for goalie here, as far as I'm concerned. As far as the level of each player is not the same, as far as I'm concerned. So you're gonna. I think Pittsburgh is in a more of a place where it's going to potentially help them because they're clawing to get into the playoffs. They're trying to get into it. I mean, 4 points is going to separate teams pretty much, I think, throughout the whole rest of the season in the East, right?
It's pretty snug, yeah.
You get a 4 point swing and boom, you're leading the whole conference. Unless you're Carolina or you're Colorado, who just told the league, "Here, hold my beer." You know what I mean, right? Right. But that's kind of what I'm thinking about here. As far as I think it's a better deal for Pittsburgh. I think it's going to help Pittsburgh more. I think it's going to give them that goaltending that they're going to need. Also, adding that shutdown defenseman that they desperately need. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's going to help Pittsburgh more than what Skinner is going to help Edmonton. But I think it's going to be good for Skinner to be in Edmonton because,
Jerry.
or I'm sorry, Jerry.
Yeah.
It's better for him to be in Edmonton because he's got roots there, he's got home and everything. He's going to play better there because he's been there. He wants to be there. Do you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I think it's going to be good for both players, but I don't think it was an even swap.
Well,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh really needs something though right now. Lately, they've really been strong. They've blown two big leads and lost back-to-back games. So
Why do
to
you
the
think they
Mammoth
went
and
out and
once
got a
to the
goalie?
Sharks. So yeah,
Yeah.
That
yeah.
defense isn't very good there in Pittsburgh.
Right.
It's
Oh, I
only
know it.
been a
And
matter of time before it starts falling apart. But
well, and where it's really fallen apart is with Chris Letang. There's
Yeah.
legitimate concern
oh
about him
yeah,
right now within
Yeah.
the
it doesn't.
organization. There is
Mm-hmm.
legitimate concern about his play, but they're stuck. You can't trade him. I mean, he's got a full no movement clause, and even if he's
Yep.
willing to waive it, nobody wants him because
Right.
he's
He's
38 and he's carrying 6.1 mil a season for 2 more years.
nope.
And you can't buy him out because you won't get cap relief if you do because he's on a 35 plus contract. So
And there you have it. That's a
you're stuck.
lose-lose for Pittsburgh all the way.
That's a Ron Hextall special for you. The gift that keeps on giving.
Boy, I tell you what, there's a couple of them still left there in Philly, boy, let me tell you.
Mm.
But listen, as the great Pearlo would say, this was our full 42 here, and we gave you all the full
Yeah,
42, man, for sure, for sure.
yeah, right.
So, Lyle, can you tell the folks where we can get all of your great stuff, man? Please tell us where we can find you.
You can find me, of course, at my website, spectorshockey.net. I also do a daily column, almost daily column, 5 days a week for the hockey news. I also am a contributor to Bleacher Report and my hometown paper here in Charlottetown, the Journal P, or the almost called it the Journal Pioneer. It's not. That's up in Summerside. That's the Guardian PEI. And if you
Yep.
read German once a week, you can catch me on Ice Hockey News as well. So I'm
Awesome.
everywhere, baby. I'm
Yeah,
bad.
man.
I'm nationwide.
Yeah, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you very much, Lyle, for coming on, man, here,
My
because they
pleasure as
got a lot
always.
of nice girls there in LaGrange, right? So, Perlo, can you tell us where we can get all your great stuff, especially you with the Ice Guys and you and
Yeah,
Rico and all the great stuff you're doing, my man?
yeah, yeah. I'll be on the Ice Guys tomorrow. I'll actually going on the what they call the Betcast tonight. It's a good. You want to check that out tonight. Go over to just search Ice Guys, the Ice Guys. It'll pop up. Voted best NHL betting podcast in North America, and still to this day is on the top of the list on that. So pretty impressive stuff from and great group of guys. Love that show. Was a big fan of that show, and I was taken aback when they offered for me to be on that show Monday and Wednesdays. So you can check me out on it, but I highly advise you to check it out every day. There, it is great stuff. I also now do my own show called Rico and Perlo's House of Jaime's Exotic Jaime's Picks Frolic. Yes, it's a mouthful. Uh,
That's isn't that Jaime's Body Lube special there?
yes,
It's brought to you by Jaime's Body Lube. Yeah.
Stay lube, my friends. Yeah. As you can tell, we have a lot of fun on there. Where it's serious, not serious. We like to joke around. Take an evening because when we got a 10 card, we get like pucking deep, just like this.
Yeah.
We get in deep on this betting, and what it is I assembled some of the best handicappers in North America, and what you do is you watch us decide who's going to win the game, how is it going to win the game, what all of these things. We talk it through with each other. We haven't thought about it beforehand. We get on, we talk it through, and you get to hear all the angles and perspectives and stuff like that. And you'll find that we're accurate a lot of the time. And more than that, the frolic. The frolic is fantastic. We love it. It's fun. We have a lot of laughs. I think you highly enjoy it. And if you don't have time for all that, I clip out a little clip of everything every day. So you can go over and check it out at Pearlo's NHL, whatever it is, my channel is called. Check it out. Just go to at Pearlo's NHL POW on Twitter. You'll get all my content that I do, and all of those things. And of course, subscribe here because this is some of the finest in the land. We bring some of the best minds in hockey here with Lyle Richardson. Man, I've been following him forever. I was honored to have him on the show all the time. He's coming on a regular basis. What's great about this game and everything is you get to meet people that you've respected your whole life, and Lyle is definitely one of those people.
See, Lyle, I wasn't kidding, my man. I wasn't kidding.
Yeah, it's been fantastic being talking to you. I highly recommend going to all of his content at Specters Hockey. Like I said, I've been reading it. I've been reading his content for a long time, and I wouldn't be where I am today and what I'm doing if it wasn't for guys like Lyle. And I like to Jimmy Murphy is another guy. If you don't mind, I'd like to send out to him too. Jimmy Murphy is another guy that I really liked, really enjoyed too. So guys like that,
a great writer,
is where I've learned a lot from those guys, and so yeah, definitely go check it out because Lyle is one heck of a hockey mind and a great reporter.
See, I wasn't kidding.
Blushing, man. Holy jeez. I'm going to need to get a new hat. My head's grown like 2 sizes.
Oh, man. Well, look, I'll just expand your side of the screen so that you get the bigger side. Right. And Pearlo, I'll just get the little tiny small ones, right?
But check out everything that Pearlo's doing too. Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Check out his work, especially, man. If you want to get the inside track, definitely check it out.
For sure.
And what about you, buddy? What about our great
show?
Yes. Don't forget. We kind of forget.
Yeah. We're singing our praises and giving plaudits to each other.
All I get to do is invite in, just like Pearlo said, the greatest hockey minds. And like you, Pearlo, I've gotten a chance to meet some really, really great people. Not just people that cover the NHL, but people that cover the USHL, people that cover the WHL, people that cover all of the junior leagues, getting in touch with some of those folks, being able to interview players that have been drafted in the first round, getting to interview players that are playing for pride, playing for gold medals. I mean, That's the kind of stuff that we all live for, man. It's all about hockey. It's all about this great sport that we all love. It's played by everybody, and it's great, and it gives people like me an opportunity to have a platform to talk about this great, wonderful game that we all love. I get a chance to bring in great minds like Lyle, like Pearlo. I do a show with Russ Cohen on Hockey Writers Inc. Check that out. That just went live tonight at 6 o'clock, where we talk about the Philadelphia Flyers and the Phantoms. Check out the Huddle. I do a show with Gage Ryan where we talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. I do a show called Prospect Watch where I interview prospects that get drafted. I talked to Matthew Schaefer, Jackson Smith. I've talked to Tynan Lawrence, Mikey Burchild, Rocco Pelosi, Tynan Lawrence. I mean, these are all guys that are going to be headline names now or in the very future. So check out everything we do over there at Prospect Watch. Check out everything we do over there at RNJ_media on X, or check out the YouTube channel or the website rnjmediasports.com. Thank you all both very much for watching us. Thank you all very much for joining us. We will catch you all in the next Puck in Deep.